All right, so today we're talking about 4NF7, which is I can compare two decimals to the hundredth place. And we've talked about that means being able to put them on a number line. That means referring to money, right, as we've known for a lot of our lives, right? And so today we're going to look a little bit further into decimals. And first off, I want you just to review. We're only going to do the first three, but I want you to move the decimal to where the 3 is in the tenths place in this number, the 3 is in the hundredths place in this number, and the 3 is in the ones place in this number. Who would like to volunteer to do this? All right, Belle, go ahead. Now, while she's thinking, I'm going to be talking. This is obviously based on place value. If you don't know your place value chart, you're going to be hurting, aren't you? All right? So we've got to make sure we know our place value chart. So Belle is thinking right now, how can I put the 3 in the tenths place? What might help her is to draw out the place value chart so she would be able to see that. It's on. Go ahead. There it is. Can somebody raise your hand and tell me what Belle is actually going to need in addition to the ones, the tens, and the hundreds? What do you think, Kaylee?
I think she's gonna need the tenths and the hundredths.
Okay, so you think she's going to need the tenths and the hundredths. Okay, stop. You're doing the second one, and I only want you to do one. All right, I have a problem with her first answer. Does anybody else have a problem with her first answer? Okay, so we're showing some signs that we have a problem. So let me explain this one. Have a seat, Bill. Thank you. Let me explain this one. I'm going to insert another page just real quick. And then we're going to look at that number again, 3632, and it needs to be in the tenths place. So, did I do that right or did I go backwards? Yeah, 3632, and it's supposed to be in the hundredths place. So this was what was written beside of it. And I think the first thing that we recognized that Kaylee drew upon was that it's asking for what place?
The hundredths.
The hundredths. So when you consider the place value chart, you now are accountable not only for all places to the left, but you are also accountable for 2 places to the right. We've talked before that anything to the right of the decimal point represents part of the whole. All right? So when we're talking about part of a whole, that means we're not talking one whole, we're talking less than one whole. So on our place value chart, this is our ones place. Yes, this is our tens place. Yes, this is our hundreds place. But it's asking for hundredths. And hundredths is very different than hundreds. All right? Now, hundredths is here. What is this place right here? Tristan, tell me real quick.
It's tenths.
Yeah, it's tenths. All right? Again, with a focus on the THS on the end because it's part of a whole, not a whole. Right? So when this number has to have a 3 in the hundredth place, then we're going to go and put a 3 in the tenths place? No, not at all. Where are we going to put this 3? All right, in the hundredths, right? Which means we're going to put a 2 here and a 6 here and a decimal and then a 3 in the ones place. All right? What is the 6? Tenths. What's the 2? Technically, we're not held accountable for that, but that's thousandths, right? Because as far left as the place value system goes, it goes as far right as well. All right? Yeah, millionths with a THS. Yeah, which is it's really small. It's a small unit. All right, so we're going to be doing a couple of these each day because I want you to get used to looking at what they're asking you for and then putting the 3 in that place that it's asking you for. Now, here's the deal for today's lesson. We're talking about decimals. We're talking about comparing decimals. And one of the things that we talked about yesterday was the fact that we needed to make sure that they were in the same form. All right? And I think one thing that's hard is sometimes you have decimals given to you in different forms, and you go, ooh, what do I do? Well, you put it in a form that you understand. So, with 50 hundredths, how would we write that? How would we write that? Jayana, go ahead up there and write 50 hundredths. Right here. All right, 50 hundredths. Do we agree with this? Yes. All right, good. Absolutely. All right, now, Jayana, hand it to a Beetlebug, a boy. And I would like for you, Beetlebug boy, to identify what 3/10 is in standard form. All right? And I like the fact that y'all are getting used to putting that place saver in the ones place. That reiterates to me that you understand we're talking about numbers smaller than a whole. All right, so we've got 3/10. Do we agree? Yes. All right, good. So when we compare these, remember we have to use inequality symbols. So greater than, less than, equal to. When we compare these, it's always nice to think about how money, right, would be compared. And so this is like saying 50 cents compared to, now, and you did say that correctly, Gianna. You said 30 cents. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a 0 on there because we want to make sure that when we compare decimals that they have the same amount of digits. That helps us, okay? So we've got 50 cents compared to 30 cents. And so how does this compare? Liz?
50 would be 50 hundredths is bigger than the 3/10.
All right, so go ahead and write that on the board. 50 hundredths is greater than 3/10. Very good. All right, so now we have something that we haven't seen a lot of, a little bit of. We've got some mixed numbers. All right, we've got 6 4/10 minutes compared to 6 4/100 minutes. Somebody talk to me. Obviously, this and this are equal. 6 is equal to 6. So now you're left with 4/10 compared to 4/100. All right, so Tristan, talk to me about the difference.
The difference between them is that 40 hundredths and 4 tenths are the same because because if you add a 0 to the 4 tenths, then that would be 6 and 40 hundredths.
So you're saying that 4 tenths and 4 hundredths is the same thing?
No.
No. Okay, so what you're saying is that 4 tenths is the same thing as 40 hundredths.
Yeah.
Okay, this has 4 hundredths. So let me show you something. This can be written as mixed number like this, and this. So you've got 4 parts out of 10 compared to 4 parts out of 100. All right? So, Jaden, what are you thinking so far?
I think that if you see that if you think of it as the 40 hundredths,
Yeah?
that is for column shade.
It's okay.
That is for column shaded in out of the hundreds.
Very good.
But 4 hundredths is just 4 little cubes shaded in,
Good.
and not the column that has the 10 cubes in it.
Good. All right, so let me just sum this up really quick so you'll understand. We talked about money, and how you can change this to money is saying, okay, if this were this, which is $6.40, and this were $6.04, which one would you rather have? $6.40 or $6.04? Absolutely. So then let's look at this one. 987 and 5/10 of a pound compared to 897 and 98 hundredths of a pound. I think the biggest thing that you have to understand is it does not matter if the decimal is bigger if we have whole numbers that are bigger. And over here you see that there's a 9, so we've got 900 compared to 800, which means 987 and 5/10 of a pound is greater.